Hey guys, Danny Johnson here, and today I'm going to be showing you the Mafia MAF extender. So this is a really nice piece because it's plug and play. It has its own harness, so you're not splicing in any factory wires. And in short, what it's going to do is allow your mass airflow meter to measure more air for your supercharger or turbocharger car. So when you're pushing more airflow, that's what it'll do. Here's the installation. It's very simple. You just unplug the factory harness, and then basically that harness that's coming from the car is plugged into the top of the Mafia, and then you'll just take it from there and set it down in the fender well, and the other end of the harness just plugs into the mass airflow meter. So very simple installation. It's just plug and play. So the question is, does it require a tune? And it really depends on the settings. There are 7 different settings. So as you can see, 0 and 1 do not require a tune, or number 7. And so you'll want to get with your tuner after this. And it's interesting, in the instructions it asks you to try to tune the car perfectly normal first for idle and driving around, and then decide what settings that you're going to use. It's really cool. It blinks and everything too when you start it up, which is kind of something you'll never see, but just a cool feature. So when do you need a MAF extender? Well, usually for the 0304 Cobra, anytime you're making more than the 450 horsepower mark, that's about when you start to need it. It can depend on a lot of the modifications and what car it is, of course, as well, but your tuner will also be able to tell you, hey, you're pegging the mass airflow meter, and that would let you know that you need this extender. But anyway, let's get back to the mass airflow meter itself. Basically, as air goes through the intake, the mass airflow meter is measuring it and deciding how much air is going into the engine. And so it uses a 0 to 5 volt range. And so, for example, as air starts to go through at a slower pace, it will send 1 volt to the computer, telling it that that's how much air is going through the system. Then the system adds fuel for that reason. As more and more air starts flowing through, it will go 2 volts, 3 volts, or 4 volt signal. And without the car being tuned, I think it only goes up to 4.7 volts. So once it's at basically its full, that's what's called pegging the MAF. So you've probably heard people say that before. They're on the dyno, the car gets to about 4,500 RPM or 5, and the MAF pegs, meaning it's gotten to its full 5 volts. And it doesn't know what to do after that, so the car can run lean or cut out. So that's what this Mafia MAF extender will do, is basically it will recalibrate it. So now it can read, the computer can read up to 7 volts, but the mass airflow system is only designed for 5. So it just recalibrates it. So for example, if you're pegging at your 5 volts, the Mafia will reset that and say it'll only send a 3 volt signal. And then that can extend it up to the 7 volts. That's why it's called a mass airflow extender. So with the stock Cobra MAF at the max setting, people have said that they've been able to make 1,200 horsepower. So this should be good enough for anything that you would ever use. And there are other options like the slot style MAF on the newer Mustangs. My brother did that on his 10th anniversary Cobra. Bigger mass airflow meters in general. And I'll make another video showing those options. And so I just want to show you real quick the mass airflow meter a little more. Basically, it has the 2 tamper-proof screws that you'll have to take off. So it's a Torx, and it has the hole in the very nose of it. And so you need that hole because the tamper-proof or security bit on the actual hardware, as you see, has that little nub, and so it'll strip out if you try to open it with a regular Torx. But it's very simple to remove the MAF. It's just taking out these 2 screws here, and then it pulls straight up. And this comes from my cleaning video. As you can see, this is what the mass airflow meter looks like. It just has these metal-looking lines, and so that's the sensor itself, and it needs to be cleaned to measure the airflow. And you want to be very careful with these sensors. They're very delicate, so all you do is spray them off with a mass airflow cleaner. And this was causing some problems on my 98 Cobra. The car was cutting out and jolting up in the higher RPM. So anyway, give that a shot if you're having that trouble. But you just spray them off and make sure that they're clean with that specific cleaner, and put it back in, and you're all set to go. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and put on the notification bell if you're already following, so you don't miss out on any new videos. And that is, simply put, what the Mafia MAF extender is and what it does. And my car is about 600 horsepower and hasn't had any problems, so it works pretty good. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks, guys.